Croeso. Welcome to another edition of One for Us Wanderings. This time we visit the great little trains of North Wales, taking a brief look at their history and the towns from where they operate. Wales is the birthplace of the Railway Preservation Society, and it has many very different steam railways. So let's hope the weather stays fine, and we hope you enjoy the journey. The journey starts here, in Llandudno on the North Wales coast. During the latter half of the 19th century, Llandudno was purpose-built as a holiday resort, and this is how it looks today. With a natural 2-mile sweep of the bay, set between two headlands, the Great Orme and the Little Orme, this makes for a perfect setting. It has a wide prom and its elegant buildings, and it's earned the title of Queen of Welsh Resorts. Although not strictly a railway, the Great Orme Tramway is a major attraction of this area. It was built in 1902 with the sole purpose of conveying visitors to the summit of the Great Orme. It's a 3-foot-6 gauge vernacular railway from Victoria Station in Church Walks to the summit, 679 feet above sea level. It's hauled to the summit by a cable in 2 stages via a halfway station. This contains separate winding gear and counterbalance systems for the upper and the lower sections of the line. The summit complex was originally built as a 9-bedroom hotel, but today it's got a themed bar and a cafe area, and from here there's some fine views of the Conway estuary and on a clear day of Snowdon. We'll leave the coast now and travel up the Conway Valley to Betws Coed. Betws is a picturesque little village, with most of the buildings faced with local slate, and it's surrounded by woodland. It's a popular base for climbers and walkers. Right next to the mainline station is the miniature railway and the Conway Valley Railway Museum. The main attraction here is the 1¼ mile steam-hauled miniature railway. These locos are detailed replicas on a 1/5 scale. They run on a 7¼ inch track and the site covers 4½ acres. Some of the vintage carriages now serve as a cafe and a restaurant. And from the main line station, Big Brother here runs a really scenic route through the Conwy Valley to Ffestiniog.
Between Corwin and Dolgellau is the small market town of Bala and the Bala Lakeside Railway. Still within the Snowdon National Park, it is surrounded by the peaks of Araran and Arenig Fawr. Bala is on the shores of Llyn, which is the largest natural lake in Wales and is a popular water sport centre. Bala Lakeside Railway was originally part of the main line from Dee Valley along the shores of Bala Lake to Barmouth on the Cambrian coast. It was closed by British Rail in 1965. The lakeside section was later reopened as a 2-foot gauge tourist attraction and run as a private company. By 1975, the line was completely relaid from the southern end at Llangollen station to Penybont in Bala. This is a return distance of 9 miles. The Hunslet saddle tank engine, made Marion, was built in 1903 and has worked at Dinorwic quarries and Llangollen before being transferred to Bala in 1975.
Well, the next stop of our journey is the beautiful vale of Llangollen. This is close to the borders of England and Wales, and it's surrounded by the Berwyn Mountains on one side and Rowabon Mountain on the other. Llangollen nestles on a quiet stretch of the River Dee, and it's world famous for the International Musical Eisteddfod in July. The River Dee is famous for its salmon fishing and its canoe sports. And about a mile and a half upstream at Berwyn, the Horseshoe Falls feed the start of the Shropshire Union Canal. And horse-drawn boat trips on this section of the canal have been enjoyed for over 100 years. Llangollen has the only standard gauge steam railway operating in North Wales. And on special weekends during the summer, this also includes vintage diesel engines. This is Foxcott Manor, and has become popular as the Sunday lunch special. It is also known as the Berwyn Bell. This line originated in 1862 as the Vale of Llangollen Railway Company, and it gradually extended to link the Chester-Shrewsbury line through the Dee Valley as far as Barmouth on the Cambrian coast. But this also fell victim to the beaching axe in the mid-1960s. Restoration began on this section of the line in 1975, mainly by volunteers. The line now follows the River Dee via Berwyn, then on through the Berwyn Tunnel to Deeside, Llandovery and Carrog. It'll eventually be restored as far as Coed, a total distance of 10 miles.
In the heart of Snowdonia, the small town of Llyanberis, in between Capel Curig and Caernarfon, is situated along the twin lakes of Padarn and Llynberis, at the foot of the Snowdon range. Llanberis at one time was a slate mining community, but now attracts visitors for a whole range of outdoor leisure activities. Guided tours around the hydroelectric power station, built deep inside the mountain, start at the visitor centre. The huge Dinorwic quarries were in their heyday in the 1890s and employed over 3,000 men. Slate was brought down to the quarry workshops in trucks like these. After splitting and cutting, the slate began its journey to Port Dinorwic on the Menai Straits and was loaded into waiting schooners. The quarry workshops at Gilfachdy are now part of the Welsh Slate Museum.
Station due to depart in 10 minutes time.